Big Heads. This is the Outside Gate with Steve Hall on the L4 Media Network, where we talk US Moto and anywhere the conversation goes. And with me today is the man behind the Big Heads. So if you've anyone remembers at Redbud the last 2 years, in the crowd around the podium, there was some big heads of Daniel Blair and the rest of the crew from Main Event Moto. Anyway, this is the guy. Him and his sister are the people behind those big heads in the crowd. TripledeuceMX, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Every time I get to talk a bit of moto, it's always great, and especially with my good friend like you, man. Thank you for coming on. I've been wanting to get you on one of these shows for a while, man. So everyone's busy, and it always takes a little while to get it together. But we thought we'd do a little bit of a bit of bench racing in general. Of course, the way the show is very organic, but also we're going to do a bit of a SMX finale review, man. So
yeah. Well, I appreciate it. I mean, we got to see each other, got to meet you in person in Anaheim this year.
Yeah.
That was epic because it was my first Anaheim, your first Anaheim, and had a blast, man. Like you're like a brother. You know what I mean? So
That's
to meet you and to get on here, like it seems like we've been trying for it, but like, yeah, like you said, it's organic. You just gotta let it happen.
That is, man. Yeah, it's cool, man. Yeah, we actually met in person for the first time at Pro Circuit. So there you go.
Yes.
That's right.
At PC.
I got to America, and one of the the first things we did, and you got to California from Ohio. And one of the first things we did was, along with some other good friends, is we met up for a Pro Circuit tour. So
my first time at Pro Circuit, your first time.
Yeah.
And I turn around and there you walk in, and it was like I'd seen you 1,000 times before, met you 1,000 times before.
Yeah.
But yet we had never met in person. That's how crazy it was.
One of the crew there said, was like, oh fuck, he's real, he's real. Here he is, because a bunch of us have been good friends, through being basically good friends through being Main Event Moto fans. And a bunch of us are good friends, and me. There's a few Aussies, but I was the one that was lucky enough to be able to get over to the.
You made it happen.
To the old section, what was it? Section 511. I've got
510. 510 or 511?
511. Yeah, I got the sticker just behind me there. 511. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was our guy DB who actually gave me the nudge to you got to come. So we made it.
That was
happen.
awesome.
So it was awesome.
I knew when I heard that you might. I was like, we got to go out there, and the wife and I came out and. We had a blast. I mean, that was awesome. A1.
Yeah. It was awesome, man. Yeah. That's it, man. Let's learn a little bit about you, man. So I know, you grew up and you live in Ohio, and I know that the old Kenworthy's Nationals used to be relatively close to where you lived.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You used to go to those and that sort of thing. So tell us a bit about that, man, and also just a bit about how you got into dirt bikes in the first place. How did that bug bite you?
I would say middle school. I had a buddy, and his dad and my buddy's older brother were always into BMX and motocross. So I always loved it. And I had an uncle that used to ride woods, but it was always he was kind of a distant uncle, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But we went to we actually were canoeing one year down the river. It's the Miami River, Ohio. Goes right next to Kenworthy's. It's actually the sinful river that put an end to the track. I mean, when it flooded out twice that year, I think it was 2004, which is the year I graduated, which is crazy. It flooded out twice. It flooded out. They postponed it to the end of the year. I think Langston was having I can't remember who else were fighting for the championship. And that race not happening kind of was a big deal. So they pushed it to the end of the year. Well, crazy thing, it flooded out again on the postponed weekend. And I think you can get into this stuff. Coombs and Don Kenworthy and those guys, I kind of don't think they got along.
Yeah.
There were some things there. Like the track was kind of weird. It was kind of flat. There's not a whole lot of elevation. The river's there. You know what I mean? Like, long story short, like, I don't know. It was kind of a Supercross track on the motocross circuit.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because they had the Dirty Dozen. Like, it was kind of Supercrossy. They just had man-made jumps.
Mm.
But a lot of guys liked it because the dirt was good. And I don't know. I liked it because it was close. But no. To go back to what I was doing, my dad had a buddy that ran a canoe rental place, and we were canoeing down the river, and we just pulled up, heard some dirt bikes, and we're like, well, we always canoe past Kenworthy's. We knew it was a dirt bike track. It was before we were into it. Like, I loved it, but like, my family wasn't dirt bike related. I just had that uncle. But my buddy's dad and uncle were into it. My buddy's dad was a twin with this uncle, so they looked the same. So we pull off the river, we walk up the bank, and we're like, oh, hey, they're racing dirt bikes. So we stood there and watched. Well, it's Kenworthy's National going on, and somehow we just show up cruising down the river. So we walk up, and here comes who we think is Ken. And we're like, hey, Ken, what's happening? He's like, I'm Ben, but you guys aren't supposed to be here. But obviously I know who you are because you know my brother. He's like, this is Ben, which was Ken's brother. They were twins. And he's like, you guys are good. Just stay right here. Don't go anywhere. You can do whatever you want, but like, don't go anywhere. You can't go any farther onto the track. But somehow we just randomly pulled up on this motocross race. And I was already kind of into it as a kid. My family was a little bit against the risk of dirt bikes. But, yeah, I think from that point on, we went to the next year. We went to motocross. And I think we went until 04. And, like, I don't know. That got us immersed. I mean, my sister Stace Face on the Discord, she got signed goggles from Pastrana. Yeah. She had to answer a question. Like, they were back then. They had a fence between where you could walk and where the pits were. Hold on a minute. Sorry, Aussie Steve. The kids are getting out of control.
That's all good, man.
I don't know what you could hear, but
it's all good, man.
But anyhow, she had to answer questions about where he was from, and she was able to. They were like, "Hey, where's Pastrana from?" And she remembered where he was from and got signed. She still has them. Still has his spy goggles. I think that was a small thing that got a hook in her. Yeah. But then, I mean, I loved it just because, I mean, I was riding an XR 100. Yeah. You always get everybody going on their first bike. My first bike, XR 100. Yeah. 1985 XR 100. My uncle gave it to me. I was like, I think I was 12 years old. And
Great bike.
I love it was orange, blue seat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know the one. No, I know the exact one, man. Yeah. I'm a sucker for XRs, man. Yeah.
I loved it. I actually kind of miss it. I kind of wish I wouldn't have ever sold it because I got a basket case XR 100 out in the shed, but I don't know. Nothing beats the first one, you know. Yeah. So
my daughter rides an XR 100 still, so
that's perfect. It's
too small for her, but it's good, man. It's still a good bike.
They're such a perfect bike.
Yeah.
The power band.
Yeah. Even like Carson Brown, that's one of Carson Brown's favorite bikes. He reckons it's like the most fun thing that he ever rides. You know, that's like he loves XR.
Watching him rip on one of those is insane.
Yeah, it's funny, man. My daughter, she's outgrown it, she's outgrown it, but I kind of don't mind her still riding it because she started late and she's still got a lot to learn.
Yeah.
But it is in a couple of ways, it's starting to sort of limit what she can learn. And like even she was, I've taught her good foot placement and that sort of thing, but it's got these worn out old, really skinny foot pegs on it.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Oh, my feet are slipping on the pegs." And I'm like, so I looked up how much BBR foot pegs are for it, man. And I was like, whoa, I ain't buying them. So I might be just getting the angle grinder out to sharpen them up.
I was gonna say, get the file out.
Yeah, because that's still what I do to my vintage bikes. My vintage race bike and that, like my KX and that, I've got aftermarket, sharp big ones and all that sort of thing. But my modern bikes and that, man, I get the angle grinder out. I'm like a surgeon, man. I just get sharpen them up with the angle grinder, and it's like you can do that lots of times before they're bugging.
Oh
yeah. And it. I used to leave them blunt, man. I used to leave pegs blunt because it would not wear your boots out.
Yes.
Because I've told you guys before, I could do a whole show on money saving tips to be able to still moto. Like I'm elite at that. It's one of my elite skills.
Squaring the tire off.
Oh yeah, man.
Cutting the tread to get a nice sharp edge on it.
Yeah. Recutting tires. There's heaps of things, man. Yeah, heaps of things. I've got all sorts of stuff. Yeah,
I remember I sharpened a set of foot pegs one time because I think I watched Ricky or MC at the time, and they had these like titanium just sharp, and I was like, "That's what you have to have," and I did that. I filed them down. I had them in the vise.
Yeah,
and I filed them sharp, and then my boots just.
Yeah,
it just destroyed my boots, and but I had good traction on the pegs.
Yeah, it's funny. It's only, I don't know, 3 years ago that I changed my foot position to modern style because I was always just in the arches, like
yes,
jammed in the arches. That's how I rode forever because that's how everyone rode. And I remember hearing all the balls of your feet talk and just thinking that's just impossible and it's crazy. And how could I ever do that? But then, as I've gotten older and in a lot of ways, in just about every way, I've found that people can change and you can learn new things. You can teach an old dog new tricks, And I dedicated myself to learning to get on the balls of my feet. And it's the single biggest impact on my riding ever, like the control I have by doing it that way. But the flip side is you don't wear your boots out as much, because you're not just digging into those arches where the sole is the thinnest and it just digs a hole in that one spot. Because when you're riding on your balls, you're moving a lot more, you're moving to and fro for the brakes and for the gears, and you can position your all the little marks from your pegs. They're over a little space rather than just in one spot, just cutting up through the front of the heel. So
100%.
It's funny, all these things, man. Yeah. That's it, man. Yeah, XR100. So my first bike was an XR75.
I remember you saying that.
Which was the first XR.
Which is pretty much the same thing.
Yeah. Like the basis of the basis of the motor is much the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I got an XR80, which is 100 with smaller wheels, and that's about it. And smaller wheels and a smaller jug. And then I had a lot of XRs after that, different shapes and sizes of lots of like 250s and 400s and all that sort of stuff. Yeah,
I think I actually rode the 100 for a long time till I was too big, and then the same uncle that I got that from, I got an 85, something about having 85s. XR 350, and that was a 6-speed, so it's basically an XR 400.
Yeah,
but it was an 85.
Yeah,
they had put 91 CR forks on it.
Yeah,
So it had the conventional or the upside down forks.
Downs. Yeah.
Yeah. And it had an extended swing arm for a period of time, but that broke and they ended up putting the factory one back on. They put a longer swing arm, but
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
that's what I learned to ride wheelies on, because you could just, that thing, the XR350, it was the radial 4-valve head that they called, was basically a Hemi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's a hemispherical cylinder.
Yeah.
Or combustion chamber. And man, I could just ride wheelies for days. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say I was the best guy at riding wheelies, but out of my friend group, I could ride a fucking wheelie. You know what I mean?
Man.
But the bike just would ride wheelies. It was just, you could just pull back and it was just so easy to ride a wheelie. And that's what I rode for the longest time. And then I finally bought an 04. I bought an 04. I think this was in 2006. So it was a couple years old. CRF 250R.
Yeah.
And that's about when I started getting into moto.
Yeah.
I always wanted to, but I just rode trails because I had a bunch of buddies with 4-wheelers and they weren't riding motocross tracks.
Yeah.
But I always wanted to.
Yeah. What's the high point of your riding moto, you know? So like you race local and stuff. What's like the high point? Did you go to, in Ohio, did you have like regional rounds or state rounds or anything like that you'd go to?
In 2016, 06 is about when I met my current wife. I was racing some local stuff, C-class, whatever. And then kind of moved up north and got out of it. Just raced with more 4-wheeler buddies.
Yeah.
But in 16, we got back down here in the Dayton area where I'm at now. And in 16, I rode the 30 plus series or 30 plus class in our little Buckeye series. I got second in it. It was my buddy, me, and another buddy, first, second, third. And I was able to hold off second. And that's about the best I got.
Yeah.
I don't want to call it B. I don't want to call it B class because it was kind of one of our slumps in the area.
Yeah.
I hate to say this because
you're B class for the area. Yeah.
Yeah, this is downplaying what I did, but like it was right in the time period when things were a little bit slow and there was only 2 tracks. But I just made it to all of them. And I mean, I would get second, third, or fourth in the races, but I finished second overall.
Yeah.
Just because I went to every race.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not downplaying it because I made it to every race, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But there were guys that were better. They just weren't showing up. It was kind of dry.
I know what you mean. Yeah. Yeah.
And then,
yeah. No, go, man. Go.
No, this Aaron's dad, Aaron Plessinger's dad, Scott, he has a track and he's gotten a lot of the other tracks and he's really connected the area. I mean, I don't race as much as I did in 16. I don't race at all. I shouldn't say I don't race as much, but he's done a real good job of just connecting this area and getting us back up. We used to be District 11 AMA. Yeah. And like, that's kind of like non-existent now. It's just like I mean, they still have to join the AMA, I think, but he's just, man, he has boosted it. He's ruffled some feathers, but like, you have to. Like,
you have to. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
He's made a point.
Change by ruffling feathers, man.
That's part of life. I mean, if you don't, you're not doing anything, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
He's a good dude,
man. I had him on the show a long time ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
That was a good one.
He's a good dude, man. Yeah, very good dude. You can see where Aaron gets the.
100%.
You can see the personality. You know, it's just a very, very good dude. Yeah.
100%.
That's it, man. Hey, let's get into some reviewing of this SMX. Hey, so.
All right.
Let's get into it, man. So we'll just go through each race and. We're not going to do the breakdown of every position and that sort of thing. We're just going to cover the key stuff, I guess, and dive into that. So I suppose I'll just start with LCQs, man. The 250 LCQ wasn't an LCQ because there was 9 spots available and there was 9 riders in the LCQ. So let's just skip that. That was extra practice. The 450 LCQ, looking at it, you were like, oh, Dean and Colt have got this. Like, no worries. But Jerry Robin jumped up and won it when Dean second and Colt missed out. So that was a little bit of a surprise. So well done, Jerry. Colt got into Moto 2 because Chase didn't line up. So he got in as, I guess,
an alternate, kind of?
An alternate. Or if they are using the term alternate with SMX or not, but that's what we'll say. Yeah, so he got in. So, but pretty uneventful LCQs, really, man. Yeah, not a lot going on. It probably set a theme that I reckon in the LCQ, virtually off the start, there was virtually no passing after that, which did create a little bit of a theme for the day, didn't it? So
yeah, it was kind of. I noticed that the track in my notes I had, it actually was pretty. I thought it was going to be all Supercross.
Yeah,
but it actually had like a motocross feel to it.
It did
to me.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
I was actually surprised. Like I think all three had the same amount of moto to them. Whereas like last year it was kind of like each one had its different feel. But this year, like they all three had this similar moto.
Yeah, I agree, man.
But SX feel to them.
Yeah, I think they got it a lot better this year. Like last year, the first one was just I don't know, weird. The second one was very moto, and the third one was like just Supercross without look.
Yeah.
Whereas this one was I liked it better. But I think like I wrote in an article a little while ago, I think that my attitude towards it also sways all this, because last year I was like down on SMX. I was like
what is this? Yeah,
screw this new stuff. I was being that old cunt on the porch, like, fuck all this new shit. We don't need this new shit. Like,
get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn. I don't need none of these damn hybrid races.
Yeah.
Like, what's all
this I can see
shit? That. But then it's funny, a year on, I was like kind of looking forward to it. And then after the first race, especially with Eli riding well, I was just like, I'm down for all of this now. Because I'm pretty simple man. I could be my ideas can be swayed pretty easy, I guess. So, but overall, I loved the SMX this year.
It's easy to get swayed like that, but it's good that you could admit it, because like you seriously could get like one way or the other. Like, I'm not feeling this, or you could be a fanboy and just be all in, and it's actually not that good. You know what I mean? Like it could go both ways.
Yeah.
But no, this year was. I think I'm with you on that. Last year was kind of like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like, what
even
are we
the
doing?
name, man. The name, like we all fucking hated Super Motocross. The name, like the whole industry, like everybody except for Feld and MX Sports hated the name Super Motocross. And now it's almost just ingrained. It's just a thing now, isn't it? We're all saying it. We're all saying it.
It worked because it's SMX. So like the initials work.
Yeah.
It's, like SX, MX, SMX. It's kind of like, okay, whatever. But
it just works. Yeah.
I don't know. When I try to explain it to my brother-in-law and stuff, it's like, because he went to Chicago with me.
Yeah.
I took him and my younger two kids and one of his buddies, and I was like, let's get a new guy involved, and that's the point of it, right?
Yeah.
Like he would have never gone if it would have been in Chicago, and so there's two new fans. I don't know if they still watch it.
Yeah.
But they kind of got interested in it, and I was like, that's when it opened my eyes. I was like, okay, they might have something. Like, we hate the name.
Yeah.
But they're bringing they brought two new people with me into it. So there's something there.
Yeah. You never know, man. We don't get a lot of new fans, but we do, but it does happen. It's not a lot, but it does happen. And it needs to happen, Yeah, it needs
You
to
have to
happen.
have some. I don't think we
Yeah.
want too. You know what I mean? Like the industry wants it to get as big as it can to make as
Yeah.
much money.
Yeah, yeah.
But me being selfish, I'm like, I want to keep it to where it's like
Yes. Yeah.
it's feasible. It's like me working for a company that's I don't want to work for a huge company
Yeah.
because they get too big. I don't like
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
I might actually rather work for myself.
Yeah.
Austin
Yeah.
Steve.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
But
I agree. Agree 100%. I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah. Like it's I had this discussion on a recent pod where I was like, and I'm not blaming any of them, but because it makes sense, doesn't it? But all the people who stand to profit a lot from the sport growing a lot are the ones who want that. I don't think anyone else does. Like I think that
no.
the promoters, the really big media players, and that's about it. Maybe the manufacturers kind of, I don't know. I think motocross is still, pretty small to some of the manufacturers anyway, like Honda and Suzuki, they're more interested in their cars and stuff, like
Yeah.
especially Honda. Like and Kawasaki's making ocean liners and stuff, aren't they?
Yeah.
Kawasaki makes boats and stuff. Like, in the end, the moto scene is fairly small to them. Yamaha makes, lots of different things and
Generators and
yeah,
keyboards.
That's right. Yeah, I think KTM would be probably of all the OEMs who would love the sport to get bigger.
Yeah,
because they're predominantly like their bread and butter is dirt bikes, So, but I don't think anyone else wants it to get bigger, man. Like I love the grassroots of it. But then there's reasons why I'm very strong on that opinion though too, because I've been involved in other sports at grassroots that did grow big, and I've seen them go to shit where average Joe can't be involved. Yeah, or with my car racing was like that. Like it was very when my dad started racing cars, it was very much anyone with a small budget could have a go.
Yeah,
and it very very quickly became not very quickly, but over the course of 10, 15 years, by the time sort of he got me driving and then I was driving, it was getting to the stage where it was getting a higher profile and richer people were wanting to be involved, and it just blew all the other guys out of the sport. Like, like if you ain't got the money, you
can't afford the shocks that this guy's getting.
Yeah. So
and they build the engine like he's building. He's dynoing it with a guy. Yeah.
So I still got a bad taste in my mouth from that. So but I also think that it's true, man. Like we don't want to make moto a rich man's sport. Like I couldn't agree with Gypsy. I couldn't disagree with Gypsy more, and like I think Gypsy he's a good guy, whatever. Like he's got his opinion. He's someone who would stand if the sport grew massively, he would make a fortune. So would Steve at Pole, so would Racer X, MX Sports, so would Feld. Like these guys, they're gonna make a fortune. Of course they want the sport to be bigger. But to me, like I love that Josh Greco can still afford to do it,
No, I've thought about it before because they talked about it, and DB sometimes goes wanting to get it bigger, and I'm like, I don't know, I want it to get bigger. Like I want the guys to sustain themselves, but like I don't know if I want them to get bigger.
Yeah,
because then it starts getting like, no offense to Deegan, but only the Deegans, like only somebody with money, and that's it's almost that way now.
It's
like I can't take my kids racing like some people do.
Yeah.
I'm not faulting them, but like
it's not a rich man's sport at this stage, but it's not a poor man's sport either. Like you've got to be well off middle class to get serious.
You could be better off
through it, like you've
got
to be football. Doing okay. Oh,
you could be better off doing school football.
Any stick and ball stuff. Yeah, it's way cheaper, man. Way.
I mean, you're buying. I don't know. half the expense.
Yeah. Yeah, not
Like,
even that, man. Yeah, not even that. Yeah.
my boys are into soccer, and like we would have to travel or whatever, but like write the travel off, because whether
Yeah.
you got to travel
You're going to
with
travel for
a
moto
ball
anyway.
bag or with a dirt bag, like that doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
buy the bikes, keep the bikes up, new tires,
Yeah.
helmet, gear, all that stuff. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's not cheap. It's
Yeah.
not cheap.
I actually think that if the sport got to a stage where it was very much a rich man's sport, it would actually decline it would decline massively in numbers, man,
Oh yeah.
because it would actually, it would kill a lot of stuff. Like if you look at the MXGP, like they have less riders. They get massive crowds and that sort of thing, but they have less riders. They don't have those privateers just rocking up, and it's a bit better now. But there was a couple of years there where they weren't filling the gate for the 450s.
Really?
So, yeah, MXG.
I've never paid attention to that. Are you serious? I never thought about that.
Yeah. And when they go to some of the rounds that are a long distance to travel, like when they go to like Argentina and China and that sort of thing, it's only the factory teams that can afford to go, so they don't have a full gate, and they'll grab a heap of locals to fill up the gate. So yeah,
But then there's a huge difference in the talent then,
yeah,
right?
yeah. So it's
Wow,
I think
that's insane.
the grassroots is where it's at. I love the idea that like for instance, like Aussies, you might remember Jed Beaton that came over to he did Washougal last year.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and he did I think he DNF'd one moto for some reason, something happened with his bike, I think. And the other moto, he I think he might have even like top 10 or something. Like he did really good, just like off the plane, a different bike and all that. And he did really well in MXGP. Like he won MX2 races and that sort of thing, and did really well. And he's one of our top riders. And he as a kid, he grew up in a this little shack in Tasmania, and they didn't even, when he was real little, they didn't even have the power on there. They had no electricity.
Really?
Yeah, like that's how hard he did it for a start. And I've heard stories about him rocking up to junior races with secondhand boots of two different brands on.
Oh, really?
And his older brother's gear that was like the sleeves were too long and rolled up and that sort of thing. And I love those stories, man. I love that. I can't.
Yeah,
get
they're
enough of
coming
that.
from the grit.
I can't get
just
enough of that. The grit, man. Yeah, I
The
love
core
it.
grit.
And you can't blame the rich kid that gets everything. You can't blame that. That's
No.
good on them. Good on their parents for making that money. Whatever. You can't blame that. There's still plenty of rich kids who have a great attitude and really appreciate what they've got, and I think Deegs is one of them. You see rich kids at local levels and that sometimes, and it's just like, this kid ain't going to make it because he doesn't appreciate what he's got. He doesn't appreciate it. When mum and dad stop throwing money at him, like, a lot of those kids, they stop racing. Whereas the kid that just did it hard, they'll keep going, So
He's got that core grit, like just not
really
gonna quit.
wants to do it. And they also got that chip on the shoulder, man.
Yeah, you tell him that he can't do it, and he's like, I will do it.
They got the chip on the shoulder.
Yeah.
They're looking at the kid with the brand new bike and the brand new gear and all that, and they're like, I'm gonna fucking beat this kid. It gives him a good attitude, man.
Oh yeah.
Cool, man. Cool. We keep going off on a tangent, man, but I love that we're going off on a tangent because that's how
That's
I like
all right.
to do the show. That's what I like, man.
It's genuine talk.
That's it, man. Dude, 250 Moto 1. My notes was just, Deegs is gone. So that was Deegs.
Well, I think that's what I had on mine. Like,
Deegs is gone. That's the first thing I wrote down.
Deegan walks Shimoda is what I got.
Yeah. The other things I wrote down for 250 Moto 1 was nice one Pierce Brown. I thought good on him. I didn't know how well he was going to go the next moto, but I thought, bloody hell, good job. And
Yeah, I was pretty impressed with that.
Especially being the last hurrah or last dance, as they were calling it.
That's what I wondered.
Team.
Like,
yeah,
that's kind of been mentioned, but like not real hard. Like, they're done.
They're done, man. Yeah. So, as far as I'm only going off rumors and hints that I've heard from other outlets. Is the talk is that TLD will be on like a hiatus for a year, and we'll be back. And we'll be back in 26 with maybe a Ducati team. So
they've taken a whole year off.
Yeah, and they may be back with a Ducati team. That's kind of the the hot mail anyway. Like that's the
okay.
And it's kind of, can see it. You can see it, and then the riders.
That might be good, though. It might be good, right?
Yeah,
because TLD likes to
be different,
do stuff and show stuff. Yeah, be different. That's a good way to put it.
It's a good match. I think it's a good match.
And Ducati's got to come in and do something.
Yeah, and Troy's just bought back the full control of the company as well.
He didn't have full before. I understood that.
No, he sold it off, or part sold it off, but still ran it, or I don't know the details, the financial side, or how much he still owned or whatever. But he bought it back basically. So which is cool.
Who had it? Who bought that section from him? Do you know?
I don't know. Yeah, I've no idea.
We hung out there.
Yeah,
at Anaheim.
You remember when we did the tour, and the chickie that did the tour, she said to us that we were lucky. We were like the last tour before they were doing a huge remodel there, and they weren't.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
They weren't going to be able to do tours until all that was done. They were building all new office space and doing lots of new stuff. So there's a lot going on there. Yeah.
And I seen they had moved a couple different, like that's the original, and like they had another place or something.
Yeah.
On social media, I saw some sort of something or other, but yeah, somebody was taking a picture of the dude painting the helmet.
Yeah.
That was actually going to be at the race, and she's like, "Oh, you're actually not allowed to take a picture of that helmet."
Yeah.
If you could just delete that picture.
It was the same at Pro Circuit. There was some no cameras spot. Yeah. Which makes sense.
Yeah, it's like, oh sure, we won't take a picture, and we already took pictures.
Yeah, the coolest thing of those two tours, man, the coolest thing for me was, and like it was so much cool, but Troy's desk and Mitch's little spot where he does his porting.
His porting.
That was the I felt like I was just in the presence of something special, of greatness.
Oh, it was like
Troy's desk, and he's got all these colored, pencils and texters and all that sort of thing, all these stationery
it's not that
there.
It's not that they were a mess. Wow. They weren't a mess, but they weren't
perfect either.
They weren't pristine. Yeah,
you could see Troy's desk was the desk of a creative person.
He's doing stuff.
Yeah.
Same with Mitch.
Yeah.
Like he had cylinders.
There was part of Mitch's workbench that was really worn out, where something sits all the time, or it was great, man.
There was a 4-stroke head. There's a 2-stroke jug.
Yeah.
And there's pistons.
Yeah.
Like
that was so
those
cool.
guys are like, I don't know how to describe it, because I haven't made a career in it, but I have the same type of like desk where like there's hard parts on your computer desk.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're in the garage, but you have to be at the computer, and they have to bring the hard parts here.
Yeah.
And work with the computer.
Yeah.
Are we gonna lose that?
Yeah. Oh, nah. I don't know. Yeah.
Like if we lose Roger and Mitch and Troy.
We're heading on for another tangent, but it's a good one, man. When one thing I often think about, and it's a question that I've written down to bring up on the show at some stage. So here we go. We often talk about the greatest people in the sport, and we always think about riders with the best with the best statistics, right?
Yeah.
When we talk Mount Rushmores and things like that. But I think it's a really interesting topic to talk about. Just the most influential people in the sport that aren't riders.
Yeah.
Well, they may have been a rider, and guys like Roger, like Mitch, like Troy, they're all in that conversation. And even back to probably beyond your time, man. But even guys like Malcolm Smith and Edison Dye and some of these guys from way back, right at the start, that even Bruce Brown, who made the film On Any Sunday, that created the initial boom in California. Like, there's so many of these super influential guys that their legacy is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And
then I think, like you're saying, those like the guys that maybe even didn't ride.
Yeah,
they might have rode, but they weren't race winners.
They're known for other things.
Yeah, they're not known for their riding, but they're still involved in the sport, and like that's insane to think about. Like, you're right, like Troy and Mitch. Like, no offense to Mitch, but like he was 18, I think, when he became paralyzed, right?
He was pretty young. Yeah, like you see.
So his whole life,
he was pretty young in the chair. Yeah,
has been him stuck in the chair, and he's just figured out how to like.
Yeah,
he's loved the sport so much.
Yeah,
from his chair.
Yeah,
and Troy and his artistic ability, like.
Yeah,
we need them both. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you do wonder who else is coming up, but I think that a lot of these guys, they come from such a magical era, man. That it can't. I don't think the magical era that they came from can't be replicated.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like literally, Mitch was going out in the desert with a welder and a heap of pipes and bits and pieces
and messing with stuff.
And Mitch was out in the desert with Rick Johnson welding up pipes to try, welding him up in the desert, man.
Go ride this and see what it thinks. Yeah.
You can't replicate that sort of cool stuff, man. It is amazing, man. I sort of look at, that a lot of those guys that, the most influential people. It's a really interesting topic. And Roger, man, there's a whole generation of youngsters that just know Roger as the old guy with the weird accent that runs KTM, man.
Yeah.
If you talk about the most influential people in the sport, ever, he's number one. And then there's Daylight, and then you talk about who's next. It's Roger by a mile.
I think you're right.
If you're someone of my age, if you think of it, and especially and even if you don't count any of his world championships or his experience in Europe, if you just talk about his impact on the sport in America, he's still number one by a mile as far as impact goes.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, that guy is.
I could talk about him forever, but yeah.
I talked to him in Ironman, and it was like, I don't know. They're sitting there revving the bikes up. It was the videos that you see. We walked past the guard, and I was like, "Hey, can I go there?" He's like, "Probably not." And I was like, "All right." You just kind of walk in.
He
didn't stop me. No, it was actually a Kawasaki guy. I was like, "Can I get in there?" He's like, "Probably not." And then I just walked right past him, and he didn't stop me. It was the gate. We went to the pits at Ironman, and the buddies I was with are pretty good buddies with AP's dad.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's how we got in there and got the picture with him in the beginning, which was, he's like, AP's dad's like, come on back. So we walk through the fence or the chain link and go between the KTM rig and AP's camper. And there's AP hanging out. And they had that shirt. Whatever. I don't want to get into it. The shirt from the picture of last year when he tossed the.
Oh yeah. No, you can say it, man. When he threw the dildo.
He tossed the dildo off the stage.
Yeah.
But he was like, "Hey, I want one of those shirts." AP told these guys he wanted one of those shirts, so they had an extra shirt. We took it back to him, and we got to hang out with him. But anyhow, we went back at the end of the race after Chase won and all that stuff. So Chase's bike is out there just doing burnouts, getting revved. And I don't know. It was just, I think I forget where we were headed with this. The point is,
Roger. You talked to Roger.
Yeah. We're out there doing all that. All the people are being stupid. And I walked up to Roger and I was like, I just wanted to talk to him because he was there. He's just sitting there. Nobody's bothering him. And I just told him I appreciated what he did. But it was so lame. He's like, yeah. And he's like, he doesn't care because he knows I'm just a stupid fan, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like him and then Marv's mechanic from last year. I think he's Boomer's mechanic this year, right? Geraldo or oh shoot, what's his name?
Marv's mechanic was always Frankie, but then they moved around towards the end, though, didn't they?
Isn't it?
I'm not sure. Frankie Latham was Marv's mechanic for most of the time, but they all sort of moved around a bit at one stage towards the end there.
I think this guy was. Oh shoot.
All good anyway, man. All good. Let's move on. Let's move on. Righto, it's time for an ad read. Guts Racing, Greg's Ultra Trick Seats. Gutsracing.com. That's a really easy website to remember. Gutsracing.com. World leaders in anything to do with seats for dirt bikes, for ATVs, even like Sarons. If that's your bag, you can get Guts seat or Guts seat products for that. You can get complete seats. You can get custom seats with bumps, with wide wings. You can get a huge range of colors. You can even get the ballistic material to run down the sides of your seat. If you're a knee brace guy who is really hard on that part of your seat, you can get tall seats in a couple of different sizes. If you are a Benny Bloss shaped sort of a guy, you can even get a Velcro fitment seat if you don't want to tackle the staple gun installation. Speaking of installations, when you get your Guts seat cover, you will also get a QR code that you can scan that will take you to a video where you will have someone there, probably Andy Gregg himself, showing you the best way to install that seat cover. How is that for service? As used by Club MX, PRMX, Hep Suzuki, Next Level KTM, Phoenix Honda, and of course, Factory Husqvarna. You can even get even the Rockstar Edition. Where if you buy a Rockstar Edition yourself off the showroom floor, it comes with a Guts seat cover. How amazing is that? That's the premium model from that brand. Comes OEM with a Guts seat cover. That speaks volumes, doesn't it? As privateer hero Scott Meshy says, they are a butt gripper and they will make you a ripper. So get around it. Gutsracing.com. That's a really easy website to remember. Gutsracing.com. Righto, let's get back and see what else my man TripledeuceMX has got to say. We're getting into a bit more hardcore bench racing. Cheers. So a couple other things in 250 Moto 1, man. I know we were both pissed when Tom took out our guy Ty Masterpool. We were both pissed about that. Honestly,
yeah,
that's because we love Ty because we love his mechanic. But
yes.
Honestly, Tom, it was nothing that bad, but we were pissed about it.
No, it wasn't too bad, but yeah,
it was, he cleaned him out, but it wasn't. He didn't line him up, but he didn't.
I was impressed with Ty.
Yeah.
But he faded both times, right?
Yeah.
Like he's strong.
Yeah.
We need him to figure out how to carry it out.
Yeah. He needs,
and you said, we're there for Ty and we're there for RH.
Yeah, that's
but
it.
I really do like Ty because Red Bud last couple of years when he's pulling the whole shot, throwing the hand up.
Yeah.
Dude's good.
No, that's it. Yeah.
And his story is good.
It's amazing, man. And then a couple others, man. There wasn't much else, apart from that. The only real things I wrote down for 250 Moto 1 was that Smitty and Juju both moved through the field a little bit, and that was kind of it. It had already, from the LCQs from 250 Moto 1, you could just see, man, it was a very start dependent track, man.
Yeah.
It was hard.
Yeah.
It wasn't impossible to pass, but it was hard to pass. So, yeah.
Yeah. That was a shame. Like I said, I thought the track didn't look super crossy. Like I was afraid it was going to be all just Supercross.
Just a Supercross, yeah.
But I thought it had a decent feel to it, kind of a mix of both. But yeah, they couldn't pass.
That's one thing. We might just keep going on 250s, hey, because 250 Moto 2. So Ty got the hot start, and but his whole
shot.
He did fade a little bit, man. And what cost Ty, and particularly in Moto 2, but it was just the big rhythm section is what cost him the Supercrossy section.
That's what I had in my notes. Like, why did he miss that 3-3?
Yeah.
He never hit that.
Yeah, and that cost him big time. Like, because
every time
he was super fast everywhere else. But we do know that Ty is a little better at motocross than Supercross.
Yeah,
and that's not to say that he can't get heaps better at Supercross. That's just sort of where he is at the moment. And a little bit of fitness. I think that sort of he was it. His off season, he had his appendix out or something like that, wasn't it? Yeah, he had his appendix out. In the off season, and he sort of got going a little late with his training and all that sort of thing, and which that's a long time ago though too, but still, who knows how long that and hard that recovery was and all that sort of thing. So he certainly
an appendix is kind of weird. I mean, for a motocross guy, right?
Yeah, and it was weird because he was racing SMX last year with an inflamed appendix, to keep racing, to remember that, and then he got it out. So it's a whole year ago, but I don't know how nasty that surgery is or how long the recovery is or lots of things. Like these guys are so finely tuned athletes in that, man. Like it's different to the average Joe. I can go back to work a lot quicker than sometimes these guys can get back on their dirt bike, and then it's the opposite. The opposite, when they'd break a bone, they're back a lot quicker than I would be.
I was going to say, they could get back on the bike when you wouldn't be back on the
It depends.
back at work yet.
It's different, man. Yeah.
100%.
And then, obviously, Ty and Tom clashed again, man, and Tom went down, which was like, at the time, I was like, that's karma, bitch. But that was, they're both, there wasn't too much in either, but
I felt bad because I was kind of happy. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I was rooting for Ty.
Nothing
against Tom, but I was kind of like
nothing against Tom.
He got in there. I was like, good. It wasn't Ty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think Ty still fell back, and I think I had the results up here.
Yeah.
Tom ended up getting him, right?
I haven't got the full result here, but
and nope, 9-6. So in the second moto, Vial got 8th.
Yeah,
and Master Pool got 6th.
Put Tom back a fair way, and Ty faded a little bit. Ty got passed pretty much back to 6th. Nearly most of those passes were in the big rhythm section. At least the ones we saw on TV. So man. And then the coolest bit of all the 250 was that big send from Deegs. The big send,
Oh my gosh!
He nearly jumped past the corner, like he literally jumped into the rut mid corner. That was wicked and so risky, man. Like, fuck! I was just like, dude, what are you doing? Like, if you crash out, it's going to cost you like $1 million. Like, that's $1 million crash if you crash out. So that was wild, but he's a ballsy kid. That's just how he goes about it. But at least he had the presence of mind to back it down a bit after that, which was, I thought he was just going to go hell for leather after PB. I thought he was going to go after Pierce.
I thought he had him. I
Yeah.
really thought he had him. I wanted Pierce Brown to win because I
Yeah,
really
yeah,
felt
because
good
it's
for
cool.
him.
Cool, good
Yeah.
story. And it's great for the TLD team. It's good for Pierce. Pierce is a good guy. It's something different. Like, I loved that he won. It was really, really cool. Yeah.
I thought he had him. And then when Pierce pulled through, I was like, man, that's something to say. I mean, you could play it off that maybe Deegan laid up, but like, I
wouldn't say laid up. He just went from, you know, he just didn't go full psycho mode to try and catch him. Like, he wasn't laying up at all. Like, you know,
like DB has said, like, hey, the results on the paper.
Yeah.
Pierce Brown won.
That's right. Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Absolutely.
On paper, this is what happened. And you could sit here and say everything you want, but like.
But Deegs even said in the press conference, he said, like, he really sent it for that lap where he did that big send and that, like, he really sent it. And he only, you know, caught up a tiny bit on Pierce. Like, he didn't catch him much. And then he was like, you know, and there was like 4 seconds or whatever. And
he realized he had it won.
He realized, let's just play it smart here, you know. But he certainly, it's not like he just went, oh, you can have it. Like, Pierce was already out in the front spanking everyone. So that's all good for Pierce, man. Cool,
that's
man. Let's
impressive.
talk.
Well, not to derail that, but do you think that Pierce pulled that out like just because that's it for them, or
there could be a, you know, you like to think that there was a, like, you know, this one's for the team, you know, like, I don't know. But Pierce is like that. Pierce has shown amazing speed at times, you know, hasn't he? It's happened.
But then the next weekend, he's kind of not there.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. He's one of those Blake Baggett type guys where it's just like, oh my God, this guy's the fastest guy in the world today. And
that's a good comparison.
And the next 3 weeks, he's 8th. You know, like that's he's one of them guys, you know, because there was days where Blake Baggett was the fastest guy in the world, like, no doubt. That was no one in the world was beating him.
Crazy fast.
And then the next 3 weeks he was 8th, but you didn't even feel weird about that. It was just, you know, and Pierce is one of the guys, I think. Yeah.
I'd like to be that. I would take that.
yeah, that's right. A lot of people would take there's a lot of people out there who would be happy with that one win, you know, like it's just got Cool, man. Let's talk 450s.
Okay.
Dude. So the 450 Moto 1, man, like that was fantastic, man. Eli out in front, like beast
I want to
mode.
talk about Eli's corner exit speed.
Yes, man. I've got that in my notes as well.
On some of those corners, like it was so. I mean, I was making notes on purpose because we're going to do this.
Yeah.
But you could just sit there and watch that guy and like
his exit speed
they'd come in
out of a tight line. Yeah, especially out of a tight line. I don't know what that is, but I mean, you know, we know how aggressive he is, and they've obviously got the bike working for him to suit that aggressiveness. Because
he can just hammer the corner.
Yeah, he was able to do that. He was able to take a tighter line, so his mid corner speed would have been slower, you know, in theory, and pull away on exit still, you know, which was amazing. Like that was the one thing where he had Jet covered, was out of tight corners, whereas Jet would be doing his more flowy style, and Eli would sort of do a little bit more, not a point and shoot, but more point and shoot than Jet. And his exit was just incredible, the way that thing would hook up, man. It was just
he's got to be on the throttle.
So
I mean,
hard,
Eli's pretty much on or off. His throttle's a light. Oh, the clutch.
Yeah.
Like he's open on the throttle, but the clutch.
It's all or nothing. Yeah.
But I think like he's going into the corner, not even coming out, and he's already all on.
Yeah.
And he's just got that bike leaning and setting where it needs to go.
Yeah.
And he's full throttle, and the clutch is finally out.
Yeah.
Or almost out.
Yeah.
So it's
a credit, man. It's a credit to like Gilly and all that set that bike up, man. Like, and whoever's doing his mapping and all that.
Yeah.
Like, it's a credit to him to have that bike where he can go that full beast mode in corners. Like, man, Eli corners, like of all moto I could ever watch of anyone ever, when Eli is doing crazy beast mode corners, that's my favorite thing.
Oh, I've loved it.
I would watch a video of Eli corners before Bubba Scrubs. Put it that way. Like, that's how much I love Eli corners. That's it.
The scrubs are sweet, but the corners, yeah, you're right.
It's just incredible.
Some of his outside lines, back on his Honda days and Kawasaki days, when he was passing guys
on the outside on corners and just,
you know, all he's doing.
He's just got her twisted.
He's just got her twisted.
It's amazing, man. It just defies. Sometimes it's just defies. The only one who I reckon I've seen do that, but it's sporadically, is Kenny. Kenny's corner speed sometimes.
Yeah.
But and the funny thing is, Jet is probably cornering faster than both of them, but it's so smooth that it doesn't look as cool.
Yeah. No, you're right. But Eli was pulling out of some corner. I wish I remember the frame.
Yeah.
And that's what made me write this note down.
My favorite one ever
is those two came into a corner and Eli just came out of this corner so much faster. And I was like, what the heck just happened?
Yeah. That happened quite a few times when Jet was on him. Yeah.
Yeah. Jet would be on him coming into the corner. He'd be faster going in. But in the middle of the corner, Eli just had this like he hit a nitrous button. He's just like, and he's gone.
Like an explosion.
Now Jet would catch back up.
Yeah.
Jet would catch back up, but mid-corner, Eli had way more speed.
Yeah.
Now, he might have been wearing himself out more. Jet was probably more efficient.
Yeah.
Because his style, tells you that's what he was doing. But, man, it was insane. Yeah, that was my note.
Yeah.
Barsha and Kenny in the first moto, I got a note that they were kind of I think the broadcast only gave like a quick glimpse of it, but those guys are going back and forth a good bit.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it was a good bit of fun, and it was like I was almost like worried for Kenny when they were showing it. I was like, "Oh, Kenny, come on, man, you're already a little beaten up. Don't end the season on the ground with Bam, So, but Bam was nice.
Barsha's bike and that Venom, like graphics,
was sweet.
Like they went all out. Like man, I'm glad he made it for the last round because he was busted up the round before.
Yeah.
But
that was cool, man. That was cool. And then the big story or the other story is Chase. Just bummer, man. Like one of those things.
Yeah, that was, man.
I feel that was Chase's mistake, to be honest.
It was.
He basically rode underneath Bam. Like it was a risky move. He wanted to obviously get through traffic a bit and try and have a chance of sticking with the lead group. And he made a risky move, and Bam did nothing wrong. Bam, when Chase started to turn, Bam was in the air. Like it wasn't Bam's fault.
Yeah, I don't think. I kind of have a weird feeling that, like, I don't know, like Chase just wasn't there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like that move is just so weird for him. Like it's kind of like he wasn't there.
He might have been. I reckon maybe he was probably panicking a bit because the red bikes are out the front and he's got a shit start and starts are his issue. Like I think there was probably a lot of frustration and he had to just take risks. I think it was a risk to give him a chance to get towards the front and it didn't pay off. So, and it just sucks. Everything, it just sucks so much. I thought he was badly hurt for a start.
Have we heard though?
The only thing I've heard, and I haven't listened to much other stuff, but the only thing I've heard is that he could have a broken hand. So
the way he rode off,
I thought he
kinda
might have
worried.
had a. Thought they were going to say like shoulder blade, shoulder blade sort of thing, because that's where he was all torn up.
Yeah.
But it sounds like maybe Bam's peg or boot or tire or something got him on the hand.
Got his wrist. Yeah.
Or the wrist, yeah. So, yeah, that's crook, man. Yeah, and then also, that you guys, so that's all three of your original Motocross of Nations picks going to shit, man. So
Not looking good, is it?
no, man, no.
Not looking.
No.
So let's get into that then. We're gonna kind of derail this.
Yeah.
Like I'm AP Ohio guy.
Yeah.
100%. Let's go. What was it? Eli Cooper Deegan.
Yeah. Well,
like, why can't those guys stand up?
That's it, man. Like Eli in the press conference, he didn't say no. That was in my notes from the press conference.
Okay.
He didn't say no.
I haven't watched the press conference.
Someone asked him right towards the end there. Someone asked him like, if Chase is injured, and would you step up? And he didn't say no. He had his poker face. He had the Eli
didn't say
poker
yes
face.
either.
He didn't give him nothing, but he didn't say no. So then who knows? But yeah, I think it'd be cool. And obviously I'm an Aussie talking about this, but I don't fucking want the Aussies to win and you guys have a team that's not good. Like,
yeah,
what's the fucking point of that? I want the Aussies to win and you guys have a great team and you're second. That's perfect for me. So I'm not, the worst thing. I would hate it if you guys don't go, because there's a rumor now too that you guys might just chuck it in.
Just because they're injured.
If we win and you guys aren't there, that would just piss me right off.
Yeah, what's that?
Fuck that! Like the best aren't there. We didn't beat the best. So, but yeah, Eli, I don't think Deegs is going to change his mind. But that's who you want.
I think you're right. That frustrates me.
Frustrates both of us. We've talked about it. Yeah,
I understand the wrist and all that stuff, but come on, man! Like, don't.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of your spot to go.
It can happen. It can happen. It can happen. There is a choice there. If you don't, it's not like he's on Australian public health and he's been waiting 6 months for an operation and they give you a date and you can't change it.
Yeah,
like he can get that out. He can get those pins on screws out anytime he likes.
They're just pulling stuff out. It's not even that big a deal. And he's like, "Oh, the team doesn't want me to go."
Deal.
The team doesn't want me to go, but now Cooper Webb's going.
That's right. So
it's like, come on, man.
I don't know the real story, but
my opinion, he wants to come hammer Supercross.
Yeah.
And I think DB mentioned this in I think it was in the latest not Overreaction, his show.
Daniel Blair show, yeah.
Yeah, I think he kind of just he's not getting paid. It's going to cost him money.
Yeah.
He could get hurt. He's going to get more tired.
Yeah.
And I think he's just focused on Supercross.
Yeah. And it depends, to me, it depends what you value, man. Like, to me, and it's easy to say from the couch, but to me, racing for your country is fucking everything, man. Like,
I think, man, I agree.
I put that on a fucking pedestal, man. Like,
I agree. Especially when you're walking up on the podium with flags and stuff.
That's a big deal, and especially when you are playing Captain America, like.
Yep,
like,
100%.
So it's like in life, man. And you've probably heard me say this one. This is one of the main things I taught my kids. in life, it's very important. And this is where I'm getting a little deep, but this is where the whole fucking world goes wrong a lot of the time is look at what people do instead of what people say. If everybody fucking did that, the world would be a much better place.
You can say anything you want.
Anyone can say fucking anything they want. Look at what people do. It's as simple as that. Like, there's no, we're not going to get into politics, but man, there's no need for presidential debates. Just look at what people do. Because what they say doesn't mean shit. Like, I don't listen to any Aussie politicians. I don't give a fuck what they say.
That's
because I can already see what they're doing.
That's so simple.
Yeah. But the whole world is a sucker.
So accurate.
The whole world is a sucker for what people say, and it fucking means nothing.
Yeah.
Man. It means nothing.
I can tell you anything you want.
Unless they're talking about history that's happened, of things that were done. If people saying what they're going to do in the future, it means nothing. It literally means zero, less than zero.
Well, and here's the thing: you could even say what you actually mean to try to do.
Yeah.
But if you can't actually get it done,
yeah.
I mean, this is redundant because it's what you're saying. But like the point is you could have good intentions.
Yeah.
And you're still not able to get it done.
Yeah.
So when somebody judges you off what you've gotten done, like, I don't know. I feel like I'm just like stepping over it. Like,
but like back to it, like you can be like rah rah for my country as much as you like saying things, but if you are that
you got the opportunity to go rah
whatever country, you fucking step up for them. That's my opinion. So, but anyway,
I can't understand why you wouldn't want to ride for the country. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. Especially talking shit like they do.
I actually think, man, I don't know, like my perspective's different too, because my country's never won, right? We've never won. We've been in a position to win maybe 2 times. So last year and the year that we had Reedy, Burner, and Mossy. That's probably the 2 times where we was like, we could win this. So it means a lot more to other countries than it does to US riders. You guys have won it a shit ton. A podium is almost like feels like a failure to you guys. So it's like
that's what
it's like win or bust. Whereas for us, when we have got podiums in the past, it's like hell yeah, like for the most part.
No, that's a good take on it. That's a good take. I never thought about
you guys, that. I can't put myself in your shoes. I guess for a US rider, it's like we've won this fucking heaps of times. Everybody already knows we're the best, and that. So maybe my view's different to theirs. But anyway, that's just how I feel. And I think a lot of fans do. A lot of fans, you see a lot of things about, it should be like, hell yeah, I want to represent my country. Like, but anyway, it's
I feel like he would like that. I hear what you're saying.
Maybe it's the team. Maybe it's mum and dad. Like,
I think the Deegans are focusing on more than just that, and they're like, we'll do that when we get to 450s.
Maybe
I think they want to get up and try to attack Jet.
Yeah,
they don't want to go and then lose it.
Yeah,
Motocross Nations.
They are super. They're super smart and they're super business minded people.
Yeah,
I don't think
branding.
Yeah, I don't think the Deegs make many emotional decisions. I think it's all business decisions.
Yes.
And holy shit, it works for them, like.
Oh yeah.
Then so hats off to them, but I think they don't make a lot of emotional decisions as far as the people around him. It's like what's the best move to get better. It's just like that's why they're such a juggernaut.
Yeah.
And I think it's been like that since he was born. Like, what do we do next to make this kid better? So it's fucking amazing. It's amazing, really, isn't it? Like full credit, but yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, imagine him and Eli and Coop, man. Like that's a hell of a team, man. Shit,
I think so. That's kind of, and
that's
I'm not
straight-
against. I'm not against Cooper going,
Yeah,
but I'm not thrilled with Cooper Webb falling back.
because he's not. He's not a unreal outdoor guy. Simple as that. But he's still. But
He
Coop's
hasn't raced
fucking-
at 250 for how long?
But he's reliable though. He's reliable. Like you're going to get the best out of Coop. You're going to get the best out of him, and
He's a racer.
you're going to get the best out of him. He's a racer. He rises to occasions, and he's not a crasher. So, yeah,
That's a good point.
Anyway, man,
Oh, shoot.
back to 450s.
Yeah.
Back to 450s, man.
Okay. Let me look at my notes.
Other things I've got, man, is 450 Moto 1, the top three guys, they put 30 seconds on fourth place. Like that was
that was insane, wasn't it?
Like when you think about it, Hunter was third. Hunter's pace was fucking incredible. It's just that Eli's was even better, and then Jet's was even better than that. Like it was like this is great. This is greater, and this is greatest. Like it was amazing. Like in a lot of other fields of riders throughout history, all three of those guys could have dominated, but they're out there together. So it was really cool, man. It was just amazing.
Yeah,
Moto
I was impressed
2
with that.
Moto 2 wasn't, it was once the two boys got out in front and Jet was in front of Hunter, it was like, oh, this is just going to settle. Eli found his way up, and it's just,
I was going to watch it back today just so I had a better recollection. And I watched the start, and those two came out front, and I was like,
that's it.
I appreciate them. I don't mean to talk down on them.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't want to watch this again. You know what I mean? Like,
that's it. Yeah, I know, man.
I hate to say that, but that's what it was.
It's funny, man. Like the it's hard, man. Like to when Jet's winning, it's hard to be excited, and I think part of it is the way he wins. Like we've had riders in the past win easily, but the way they win is a different thing, Like so, when Jet gets in front, he's riding in his super smooth style. He's maintaining a gap of just what he needs, not of huge, not of anything huge, and then it just is what it is. Whereas when we've seen Eli dominate, when we've seen like Bubba dominate, Ricky, whoever, they are just putting an absolute hiding on the field. Like they are just, and even looks like Deegs right now, it is cool, man. It's just like because he's just putting an absolute whipping on the field, just beating the shit out of them, and they've got aggressive, flashy riding styles. Jet out the front, it's really boring, man. Like it's just like, and it shouldn't be. If I feel bad on two counts. I feel bad on that because I'm an Aussie saying this, and then I also feel bad that like this is absolute elite greatness, and I'm saying it's boring. But hey, I think it's what it is.
I think it's because when you watch Deegan, it. I don't want to discredit Jet's riding style, but when Deegan's out there killing them, he looks impressive.
Yes.
And Jet looks like he's just fucking on a Sunday cruise.
Yeah, that's right.
And I appreciate that he's that smooth, that it looks that smooth, but that's not as fun to watch. And I think I saw a thing today on Instagram where it's talking about when Bubba would just come through the pack.
Yeah.
And it's like, if Jet was, and they used this example, if Jet was coming through the pack and winning everything, you'd be all about it. But
hell yeah, it'd be great.
He just whole shots and then just wins, and like even Ricky would like not always get the whole shot. He would just win.
Yeah.
But it was fun to watch him get there. Jet just gets to the front, or like he's top 5.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right, he's gonna make it.
Yeah.
And he does it so beautifully that it's like boring, and that sucks to say it that way, but that's what happens.
Mm.
He's just he's too perfect at it that it's just so boring to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, and I feel so bad for him, but like,
I don't feel bad, man.
Right?
He's got plenty of fans, man. He don't feel bad for him because
I don't dislike the guy. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, I wanted Chase to win. I mean, I was a Honda guy, so I should be ecstatic because Jet and Hunter. But I don't know. I kind of took to Chase, and I hated to see him get hurt.
Mm.
But I also love, man, Tomac. I love Tomac.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Tomac.
And he was an early Honda guy. He hasn't been a Honda guy for a long time, but God, that guy can just come and kill stuff.
Yeah, that's it. Tomac, like I said, yeah, he's
Nobody has that beast mode in him.
Nah.
That's him.
Yeah.
RJ can do it, but he wrecks.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
I think I would put RJ as the next beast mode, but he can't complete it.
Yeah, but it's a different level though. Different level. RJ can be like really fun to watch when he's on, but yeah, it's not.
No, you're right.
It's not Eli level.
No.
The other good thing, man, out of Moto 2 was Phil. So Moto 1, Phil goes out, and the Moto world is like holding their breath. I know, is that it for Phil? And then he comes back for a top 10 in his last race, which was cool, man. It was perfect. It was really, really good.
I gotta admit, I missed his final.
Yeah, 10th. He made it up to 9th, but then Colt got him and put him back to 10th.
Nobody mentioned what happened to him. He was out early, right?
He was out on lap 1 in Moto 1. I can't remember what happened to him, but it was either a small injury or a bike thing. I can't remember. I think it was a small injury, I think. But then as Phil Wood, he manned up and went out there for a top 10 in the last one, which is really cool.
Can you imagine? I mean, you're farther than I am, but like missing out on the Phil party.
The Phil party, yeah.
Even the everybody gets to go party, not even the elite like invite party.
Oh yeah.
Like missing out on that. Like, man, there was part of me that was like, could I get to Vegas? Could I get to Vegas?
Yeah.
Watch Pulp with DB.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was at Skip Norfolk's bar. And then they were doing, and then were they doing the Phil thing straight after? Were they? Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. Cool.
That would have been cool. That would have been the invite party.
Yeah, the inner circle. Yeah,
that would have been epic.
Yeah, you'd be struggling to get an invite to that, man. That'd be hard to get.
Well, they gotta keep us idiots out.
Yeah, that's right, man. So I'll just wrap up so the title standings, I guess. So Deegs, Tom, and then Pierce Brown's result in Moto 2 brought him right up to 3rd in the championship.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Really cool.
I mean,
and then obviously
did what he had to do.
Yeah, obviously Jet Hunter and Eli for the 450 title. So
Chase dropped. Wow. Oh no, that's not the overall. I'm sorry.
But yeah, Chase dropped heaps, man. Yeah, because of the triple points, man. That was a big swing. That's why. I mean, Eli was a fair way back. He came up to 3rd. You know. So
yeah.
Just
what was their overall in the? I'm trying to find the overall in the Super Motocross. Did Eli end up getting 3rd overall?
Yes. Yeah. That's what I was saying. Yeah, in the title, Eli ended up getting 3rd overall. Yeah.
They had Chet way back, or Chase way back in Holy cow!
It
Yeah,
dropped him to like 8th or 9th or something. Like it sent him way back because all those other guys were getting triple points.
yeah.
So it cost him a lot of money, man.
He didn't get. He missed. Yeah, he missed 2 motos.
Cost him a lot of money. He missed 2 triple point motos. So,
Yeah.
futures, man. What do you think of the futures?
Yeah, I had Davies' interview. He's actually coming around, I think.
He is a little bit. Yeah.
Isn't he?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Able to talk a little bit. Like it was. Remember his first one?
It was bad. Yeah.
His first one was like, what?
He was like a deer in the headlights. The first one, man.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was.
Yeah. And he gave a bit of cheek. He even gave a bit of cheek to one of the journos at the press conference too.
Oh, really?
He gave him a bit, like in a good way. Like he gave him a little bit of cheek with a couple of questions and that. So
okay.
Yeah, he's coming around. He's coming around. Yeah.
I figured he would. He's like little goon finish.
Yeah, that was funny one. I don't know if that was he was trying. I don't know if he was trying to do something and then backed out of it, or if that's what he planned. Oh,
That's kind of what I thought.
I thought he was, trying to go for a heel clicker and then thought, oh shit, no, this is too small, or what? I don't know.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me. Is he was gonna do something. He's like,
it was like a one third of a heel clicker.
Yeah.
So,
he was killing it. DB's KTM kids, like.
Yeah. So my guy, our Aussie, Caden Minier, he got a shit start, man, and he was just fucked after that. Like he was doing well. He qualified 4th. And I was like, here we go, podium. I reckon this kid can podium. But he got a shit start and it was all over there. There was very, like if you think about how little amount of passing there was for the pro passes, the futures kids, even Drew Adams, who is like probably easily
he made 8th, or
he's probably easily the fastest guy out there. Like we all sort of know that. He was in, I'm guessing, but like 12th and made it up to 8th. He didn't even come through the field.
7th or 6th or something around there.
He didn't come through the field heaps. So, but it was cool, man. Avery Long was 2nd. That was cool. And then, the funny thing, do you remember when they went to the Avery Long interview in Race Day Live and Dan Hubbard thought he was a girl?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Dan Hubbard says, "Oh, we got Avery Long down in such and such, and let's go down and see what she's got to say or something." Like he thought it was a girl, and I was like, I felt so bad for that kid. So anyway, there you go, Dan. He's a fucking boy, and he got 2nd. So that's it. a bit of fun.
Did he kind of figure it out? Like, I mean, did he?
He didn't say anything afterwards. He didn't like retract it. He was just probably.
You don't bring it back up because it would just make it worse.
Make it worse if you brought it back up. Yeah. And then the kid, Fedortsev, I'm not sure how you say his name, in 3rd. I'd never heard of him before that. So good job.
I'm trying to pull up their results here.
But yeah, Yamaha 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I pretty much just had Davies. Like,
yeah,
he was killing it.
It was the Davies show for sure.
Yeah,
it's just a shame that Drew Adams didn't get a good start because those two,
that would have been fun watching those two guys go at it.
Davies is the one who could legitimately take Drew Adams down in a real, duking it out. So,
and it seems like every time they race, like one of them has an issue to where they're not next to each other. It's not that one of them beats the other.
Yeah,
they're just never around each other.
Yeah.
Davies is up front, Drew's out back, vice versa. Back at SX Futures.
Yeah,
that's a good point. What's the timeline on those guys going pro then?
Yeah, it's weird.
Adams has got to be soon.
It's weird, man. You can never predict it. Sometimes you think they're definitely going pro and they don't, and then sometimes it's the other way around. It's like, shit, he's pro already.
Are they both about the same age?
I'm not
Davies
sure.
might be a little bit younger.
I'm not sure. Not sure on their ages,
I
man.
never cared about futures and young kids till DB got into it, and now it's like it's kind of fun to watch the next guys coming up.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, Manier, Davies, Nugget, our favorite. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just these young guys coming up and like.
Oh yeah, so it has added interest. Like I was already interested. I genuinely really love the amateur stuff. But I definitely have more interest in it now with the kids that DB's training, and
Yeah.
especially some of the Aussie kids that have gone over. So.
Oh yeah.
And but yeah, I love the kids racing in the amateur scene and all that. I think maybe part of the reason is because I missed out on all that myself.
Yeah.
I didn't get to be involved in any of that or do any of that. So that's probably why I think maybe some people who just did heaps of that when they were a kid, they're like, whatever, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
But
what do you think? What's your theory? We had Chad, Byrne, a couple other guys, but I kind of feel like there's a couple more showing up. So what is Australia like? Why do you think there's a couple more showing up from there? Or is it just a false? Like
yeah, a lot of it's luck, man. I think a lot of it's luck. It just comes together, like you'll get.
But they're not coming from England.
Yeah.
I think you guys are doing something. You guys are similar to us, where it's like your culture or something like.
But there's been a lot of years where we weren't producing anyone, and there's been years where England produced a lot of people. I think it's luck. You lucked upon some really fast people at a certain time who were fast.
Okay.
Fast, had the and they also had the opportunity and the will and commitment to do it. So
that makes sense. It just seems like you guys got it now. Like you're putting out some.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the Lawrences kind of came from there, but then they went to Europe. But still, like your culture, getting young guys into dirt bikes just even to enjoy it. It's obviously there.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know a good example, but like somewhere else where they're like dirt bikes aren't as popular or accepted.
Yeah,
it's not going to happen then.
I think maybe the fact that that Australia has a lot of space. There's a lot of space.
It's kind of like here, Australia. Right?
Yeah, you've got a lot of space, so. Whereas you're right, there's European countries where no one's got any space. So unless you have the opportunity to have a track to go to, or and people to take you to tracks and that sort of thing, like it's it is harder in some countries maybe, but I don't know. It's
that makes sense.
Yeah, but I think a lot of it's luck. A lot of it's luck.
Oh yeah.
Like imagine if Jet, instead of the dirt bikes, he wanted to keep being a fucking breakdancer or whatever he was. Like he could have been at the Olympics breakdancing, man, instead of ray gun.
Oh yeah.
Like he could actually been good. He'd probably be really good at it, man. Instead of that,
probably would have been better
than ray gun. That's the chick that went over. It's like, yeah. Like he might have been good at it, man. I could picture it. It doesn't even sound weird, does it? That Jet break.
No,
it doesn't even sound like you could absolutely picture it and picture him being really good. Yeah. Hunter, yeah. I can't see Hunter breakdancing, man. I can't see that at all. I could see what would Hunter be if he wasn't a motocross? I could see Hunter being like a tennis player or something like that. Golf. I could see Hunter being a golf or tennis.
I can see him golfing. I can see him get into cars or something.
Oh yeah. I could
racing
I can
or
see
something.
That.
Cars.
I can see racing cars. Yeah.
He's got that feel to me, like he would drag race or something.
Yeah.
Or circle track.
Yeah, V8 supercar driver. I could see Hunter doing that. I could see him doing that in his later years.
After
Chad
Moto.
had a go at it once. Chad had a go at it. Yeah.
Ricky tried.
Yeah. I think Chad just did some trials, and Casey Stoner did some trials. That was all around the same time, I think. Yeah.
Stoner's
the
a
Red Bull team,
MotoGP guy, right?
Yeah.
Those
Cool,
guys
man.
are insane.
They are, man. They are. Hey, a few fun things. So I've got a list of fun things, man. Let's get into those.
Okay.
So the fun things that I made notes of. So on race day live, AP signed a pregnant woman's belly. I don't know if you caught that. Yeah,
I missed RDL.
That was awesome, man.
He signed some pregnant lady's belly.
Yes, he did. Yeah, and Lurch went to interview him, and he'd just done it, so it was perfect timing. And she's in the background with her shirt rolled up, showing people. And she's like, man, she looked like she was like 10 months pregnant, like she was the big
ready to go.
Oh yeah, big tummy, big tummy, and
holy cow,
he signed it. Yeah, so that was pretty awesome. Yeah, and because and AP's like, man, I just signed a pregnant woman's belly. That was cool. And then Adam's suit, man, he's up the game. Like you guys know, I've never owned a suit in my life. I didn't even understand. I didn't even understand the criticism of Adam's suit in the first round when everyone was going quick about his suit. I've hired suits when I've had to wear a suit. I've never owned one in my life. I've never had any item of clothing tailored. I don't know nothing about that. Like, that's so far from my personality. Like, you couldn't. I pretty much, if I have to wear a suit to something, I'm probably going to find an excuse to not go. That's it. How I am. But Adam had
the boys were cutting it down, and I was like, I don't know the difference.
He had like the checkered suit on. So to me, I just thought that was cool. Like, he was going all in, going all out. I don't know if it was well tailored or whatever.
It looked...
And then Stu had the pink. He had the hot pink shirt rocking with the. I thought that was pretty cool as well.
Yeah, he went with it, didn't he?
I liked it. They were both, rocking a bit of personality there.
I like that because I don't like this stuffy, like you're watching the news broadcast.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what Joe was getting at. And I think Adam or somebody in our live stream was like, why don't they just wear shorts and a t-shirt? Like,
yeah, true. Yeah,
we're watching moto.
Yeah,
like wear a nice shirt, a polo, something. Like, it doesn't have to be a suit.
I don't see the need for a suit at all, man.
But they want it to be like TV.
But I think it's the NBC races, isn't it? It's the NBC races where they bring the suit out. Because the other times, Weege and James and that have just been in polos.
I thought so. Yeah,
Mostly, I think polos or maybe a shirt, but definitely not a jacket.
No, the jacket and the little pocket square or whatever,
and all that. Like,
man, I don't.
Yeah,
that's not what I'm watching.
No, it's not very moto. Yeah,
especially the guy that I know that used to be on the track, and now they're wearing this.
Yeah, it is.
Now I guess they're trying to get new fans.
Yeah.
But you think NASCAR guys care that their broadcasters are wearing suits?
No.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Man, so all my years in my former life of selling stuff, man, one of the golden rules of selling, man, is that you have to think. You have to look and think through the eyes of your customer, not of yourself. It's a very easy trap that businesses fall into, where they get used to this is what we like, this is what we think, and it's all about what your customer likes, what your customer thinks. And the average moto customers or potential moto customers, they don't give a fuck about your suit.
Yeah.
Like, they don't, man. They don't
Yeah.
at all. So the NBC, the top brass in NBC, they love your suit. So it could be a good career move for that individual, but for the greater good to get new viewers, they don't give a fuck about your suit. They would probably be more, they would probably connect more if they were rocking a polo with a super
Yeah.
motocross thing on it or whatever. So,
Or a Moto T, like just I
yeah,
got my Redbud shirt on. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
don't. I then have to be a sloppy T, I guess. But like, yeah, a nice Moto T with like
yeah,
Monster, Redbud, KTM, whoever.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Anyway, that's just what I reckon. But the highlight of what people were wearing though was Katie's Catwoman suit, and that
Yeah,
was
yeah,
that was the highlight.
yeah.
It's
I was
funny.
kind of like, man.
It's funny. Like, there's a lot of blokes who are like, "Wow, check out Katie," and it's funny, man, because I was like, it took me a while to warm up to Katie. I don't know if it's just because
No, I know what you're saying.
I don't know if it's just because I reckon Kristen Beat was awesome, and I reckon Haley's awesome, and then there's this
Yeah.
other new chick, and it's like, what do we need another one? Old bloke resisting change. It took me a while to warm up to Katie, but then I started to think, nah, she's pretty good. And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden she rocks out in this Catwoman suit, and all the blokes are like, "Holy shit!" So yeah, that was yeah. We're very weak. Men are very weak. It was like, oh no, I'm Team Katie now. I was like, don't worry about it. I'm Team Katie now. It's like,
That's the best way to put it. We're weak.
yeah, men are weak. Yeah, that's all it took.
That's the best way to put
All
it.
it took to win over the male moto audience was for her to be rocking a leather, or
Well,
it's probably a fake leather or whatever.
let's
Pleather,
go
they
back.
call it.
Diana Dahlgren.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Like she was
yeah.
like the best Miss Supercross. Like
That's
she
it.
was a Supercross Monster Energy Supercross girl.
Yeah, we're
But
not
then
going to
she
see
started
those times.
announcing too for some reason.
We're not going to see those times anymore, man. Yeah,
She fit it. It was
yeah,
so amazing. Yeah,
yeah,
it's gone.
yeah. That's gone. Yeah,
It was her, Aaron Bates.
yeah, and
Yep.
and then we had the chickie that was there when DB was doing floor announcing and that too. The brunette. She's like
I'm drawing a blank on her name.
She was like a Juliana Daniel. Then we had her, and then that was it after her, really, wasn't it? There was no like babe roaming around with a microphone. I mean, we still got good looking girls roaming around with a microphone, but they're not dressed to impress. I guess they're dressed.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
They're not. They don't have the clothes that attract the attention. Until Katie's cat suit.
Yeah, until this weekend.
That's right.
Yeah, you're right. They kind of dialed that back because now they just walk. They're just monster girls. That's it.
Yeah.
And then you have the broadcast. It's almost like they separated them.
Yeah. You wait, man. Eventually, the monster girls will start getting tamer. It's just the way the world's going, man.
Yeah.
So, it's whatever, like you remember, like, even when I was a kid, you'd see like promo girls at a race or something, and it was like fucking wow, because you hadn't seen a girl dressed like that anywhere else. Like that was like wow.
Yeah.
But now every second girl at the mall's dressed like that, so it's like it's not even a big deal anymore.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point. Like you don't even know. You're like whatever. That's normal.
That's just normal. Like
and all girls dress like that. Do they keep pushing up?
Yeah, I think it's just yeah. And I mean, it's I don't know. It's part of it's, a lot of it's just the PC world too, man.
Yeah.
It's it. We're never going back to the days when Bob Hanna would throw the podium girl over his shoulder and all that sort of thing. Like
what? Didn't he make out with one on the podium?
Oh something? Yeah, lots of times.
Yeah.
They all used to. Yeah, that used to be the done thing that they'd grab one of them and they would grab them and pour the champagne all over their white t-shirts and like it was all that sort of stuff. Yeah, which honestly, like, yeah, it is probably too much. It's funny now. It is probably too much. Like the poor chick, like that was probably not what she signed up for. But
they're just trying to work, and this is what it turns into.
So that was probably too far. But yeah, anyway, that's the world we live in, man. Another thing, not so much a fun thing, but just an interesting thing. That was the dirt came from Sam Boyd, man, which was good. Good that they used the dirt from Sam Boyd Stadium. You know, I don't know how far that is. I'm assuming it's not far, but the fact that they use that dirt, good because they know it's good dirt. You know, so that was good.
That's a crazy thing on that dirt. On how, I mean, it makes sense that they have to like kind of own the dirt. And I know a guy here that trucks dirt down to Cincinnati for Monster Jam and stuff. And he's out of Dayton, but he usually hauls it in and out of the stadium, and it's like probably going to the same place. I don't know. It's just kind of weird to think that they just hold earth, they hold dirt until this event or whatever, and they might use it for Monster Jam, Supercross, maybe something else.
Yeah.
But it's so weird that the dirt has that much characteristic to it.
I think
because they were mad about Texas, right?
Yeah, we're probably the only sport
super fan of the Texas dirt.
Probably the only sport where the dirt matters so much, aren't we? I can't think.
Yeah.
Like even, I don't know. I'm not big on like rally cars and that. Maybe rally cars that the surface means a lot to them. I would think they get into it
like we do.
I think they probably do. A bit like how the dirt is and what they'd go into with their tires and that. I don't know very much about it, but there's wouldn't be not too many other sports. It's the variables in dirt and track conditions is incredible, isn't it? Yeah. It can just make or break an event. How good the dirt is. Yeah.
Well, because like asphalt guys, like they're based off the humidity, the temperature, the weather,
temperature, and a different surface. Like different surface. Like I remember when I was driving, like you could get a track resurfaced, and everyone just like dropped 2 seconds from the last event at the same track.
Yeah.
The same weather and everything, but the track's resurfaced and you've just got grip, traction, whatever, and you don't even feel it, but everybody's just suddenly going 2 seconds quicker.
Yeah.
So they get a little bit, but not much, man. Not much. Yeah.
It's like we're just riding dirt bikes, but yet it kind of I don't want to say we're picky because I don't want to put us in that frame, but like
the pro guys are, but they're allowed to be.
It makes a difference, though. I guess it makes a difference. They could race any dirt for one event, one moto.
Yeah.
But for the weekend, for the night show, it matters what the dirt's like if it holds up. So it's not necessarily just the one race. So that's a way to look at it.
Cool, man. And the other thing I've got on that list is did you see? Oh, you haven't watched the presser. So in the presser, someone asks Hunter or Jet what animal they get next. I wasn't even across this, but they must have at the training facility. They must have a bit of a farm going where they've got some animals, some whatever the fuck they've got.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they must have some farm animals and stuff out there. And they said, it was Hunter. They said or it might have been Jet who passed it to Hunter, and it was like, what animals are you going to buy next for the farm or whatever? And he started talking about breeds of cows and stuff, and the look on Eli's face was fucking awesome. Because like Eli lives on a fucking ranch, man. Like he probably knows all this shit, and they were probably sounding dumb or what. I don't know what it was, but Eli was sort of looking, and then he was just sort of laughing to himself, like, and it just if you could
He's
caption
always
it,
fun in the presser, right?
yeah, if you could caption what Eli's face said, it would be like, it'd be like something like, "Oh my god, you guys," like,
He didn't have a clue.
yeah, it was funny. So yeah,
He's that way in those pressers, though, isn't he?
yeah,
Eli?
yeah. But I love it. Sometimes it depends, man. It gives
Like if
nuggets. Like
he's
he'll
sat
be,
there before and he's like, and he'll look and he's like, and he kind of like
yeah,
reels it in, but you
yeah,
could tell there was something like he's like, really?
yeah. It was
Like,
one of those. It was a good one of those. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. He
that dude, he's an
funny.
anomaly in our sport.
He is, yeah, yeah,
He's his own guy.
yeah.
You can't call him a Stu, an RC, an RV,
No,
an AP, a Deegan. He's Eli.
yeah. That's it.
He's done what he's done, and he rides the way he rides. He doesn't have anybody else's style. And those pressers, like, I kind of like watching him in them.
Yeah. Sometimes you get nothing, and he'll do the whole presser, and he's just poker face. There's nothing. You don't know what is going on. But then sometimes he'll open up a bit, and it's like when he opens up a bit, it just captivates everyone. Yeah,
Everybody takes it in.
It's very powerful because he's such a stoic, guy. But when he lets a little bit of something out, everybody's just like drawn to it. It's just
They're like, oh shit, he's saying it.
Yeah.
He's being real right now. Yeah.
It's cool, man. I hope when he does retire that we get a little bit more of that, bit like how RV has.
I hope he finds a way. I feel like he'd rather not be in the sport.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, just his personality is not to be in the limelight.
I could see him going full K-Dub and just like disappearing. Train a few kids, maybe, whatever.
K-Dub's coming back, but he's still quiet.
Yeah. I could see being like
I saw him in Iron Man on the other side of the tabletop. And we were yelling at him and hooting and hollering, and he was throwing his thumbs up, but that's all you see of him. You don't see him anywhere.
K-Dub's on my bucket list for a podcast guest.
He'd
be a very hard one, man. So,
that would be amazing.
It would be, man.
Eli's the same way.
Yeah. What's your we'll start to wrap up, man. What's your favorite just off the top of your head? It's one that I haven't given you time to think about, but what's your favorite moment of the 2024 season like? Soupy outdoors at SMX. Have you got like a favorite moment? Mine's real easy, but yeah. What you ever think about it?
Okay. Favorite moment of 24. Man, that's tough. You're putting me on the spot here.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I did we did A1 this year. Nashville, Indy, Redbud, and Ironman. So this isn't the answer you want. But I did 5 events this year of just being there in person. A1 was epic. Getting to meet you, DB, all that. Nashville, I went with my nephew. Man, to answer your question, probably I watched Kenny blow that shock out in person in rec.
Shit.
Now, I didn't enjoy it because I hate to see that happen, but like that was a pretty epic.
It's a wow moment that you'll never forget.
Yeah, that was a pretty epic moment that I saw. I was watching Kenny jump over that. Like he was the one. Him and he did it first, but he was jumping that crazy like way over there and blew it out. And I remember watching that thing shoot up the side. I was like, shit, he blew his shock out, and then he just started dying in the whoops. So I hate to admit it. I think that was pretty epic. Watching that happen.
Nice.
Watching, I still hate to say it. Watching Kenny wreck, I was looking at him. I didn't turn and catch it. I was watching him go through that section because he kept hammering that jump every lap. And I nudged my nephew and I was like, dude, watch this guy. And that's when it happened.
Nice, man. Nice. Dude, mine's easy this year. It was walking into Anaheim Stadium. That's my favorite moment. Walking in and just seeing everything for the first time. So that's easy.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
That was such a laid back, yet not laid back like the intensity wasn't there.
It wasn't a great round or a great race or anything like it was. It wasn't at all. But the experience of being there for the first time and all that, that was definitely my favorite thing. So it wasn't what a rider did or whatever. It was just literally actually getting there and walking in that first time. Yeah,
meeting everybody, meeting you. Like, I think what took away from A1 for me is meeting you at Pro Circuit.
Yeah,
like you just walked in.
Yeah,
and we're at Troy Lee, and we're doing all that SoCal stuff and the race. So like it all got spread out. So I hate to say that took away from it a little bit. Walking with DB up the tunnel.
Yeah.
As we're headed to our section, and him just talking to me about everything.
Yeah.
That was I don't have a good answer. The whole year's good, man. Like I appreciate it all.
That's it, man. Hey, I might run a few of my fun questions past you. Let's have a look. What do we got? What's TripledeuceMX's spirit animal?
My spirit animal. Oh, I don't know. If I was to pick personally, you can't beat a hawk.
A hawk. Nice. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hawk or an eagle.
Yeah.
A falcon. A bird,
Bird of prey.
I guess you'd call him a raptor.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool, man.
Cool. The attack bird of the sky. I think that's what I would get with.
All right. I like it, man. Dude, what else? What are you scared of, man? What scares you?
How deep you want to get on this one? I don't know. Simply poisonous snakes and stuff are kind of. I mean, this is nothing for you, but like, we don't have that stuff here in Ohio. We're pretty spoiled.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
We got some bees and stuff. You could probably say commitment and like emotions.
Some deep stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, the deep stuff's probably a little bit scared of that, but like, I don't think I'm scared of too much. Missing out.
FOMO.
Not making the right decisions.
Yeah, yeah. Cool, man. Cool. What other skills, man? What other skills have you got that we don't know? What skills you got that I don't know about?
I'm a jack of all trades and a master of none. Like,
you play any instruments or anything, man?
No, I don't play instruments. I'm good at wrenching on stuff. I think I'm pretty good about connecting, like, it sounds weird, but like connecting people. Like if my dad's looking for somebody that's wanting to buy something, like finding something, or a buddy that's selling this and finding the guy that wants that. Like just keep it in the back of my mind. Like this guy's selling whatever car.
Yeah.
So a little bit of networking.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I got some skills there.
Do you have any skills, man, that you feel like that you are like, even if they're really small or weird, that you're like, I am fucking unreal at this? Do you have any of those? Like little things?
I'm so hard on myself, man. I don't think I...
Like I've got some weird ones, man. Like
give me an example of you, and let me see if I can come up with one for me.
I got some weird ones where it's like this. They're all things that that aren't really that useful, but they're all, on a big scale. They're not nothing that I could make a life out of, but I'm fucking elite at getting things done for fuck all money. Like I'm really fucking good at that,
Yeah.
and I'm also, it's probably a similar thread. I'm elite at packing vehicles or packing anything,
Okay.
like I'll move your fucking whole house in a hatchback, man. Like I am fucking unreal at that shit. Like,
Yeah.
the amount of shit, like, that's the thing. I'm really good at that, I'm not, I always say that, because my family laughing at about how I could, do that. And I say, look, I reckon I could be Australian champion at vehicle packing if there was an Australian championships, but on a worldwide scale, you can't beat like the Asians that will have a family of 5 and a pig and 2 chickens on a scooter. Like you can't beat.
Yeah.
Asian countries are like by far, or you're like Southeast Asian countries, your poor Asian countries. They are like by far the best. Like they'll have you see things where they're like carrying just fucking piano on a scooter, like anything like that's different. But as far as Aussie levels go, I'm elite at packing things. Yeah, that and the building and saving, saving money on building things or going places. Just which I suppose it's a pretty handy skill to have. But yeah, I'm fucking elite at that. But
I seen a guy in I think we're in the Dominican, and he was riding on his motorcycle, and it's scooter motorcycle thing.
Yeah.
He had some sort of like dishwasher or trash compactor or some sort of appliance.
Yeah.
That he's riding with.
Yeah.
Like you said, like they have a whole family on there.
Yeah. It's fucking awesome. I appreciate it.
Hanging off.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I don't know how many times in my life where I've pulled up, whether it's a job I'm doing or whether it's I'm buying something or any situation where I'm like, I'll pull up somewhere just with my, one of my trailers or my ute or whatever, and they'll be like, "Oh, you won't fit it on there. You won't fit all this on there." And I was just like, "I'll be right." And I'll fucking get it on there. Yeah, somehow and get things tied in. Also, very good at tying things down. Obviously, it comes with the territory. But like moving with trailers and all that. Like I can just look at your furniture, and I can put it together like a jigsaw puzzle. Like
Tetris.
Like Tetris, man. I can Tetris the fuck out of that. It's it's cool.
I think I would, to go off of that, like back in a trailer.
Yeah.
And it sounds stupid, but I think I could put a trailer anywhere you want.
Yeah.
Because I helped a guy farm for a while, and like we'd have to back his salmon. He did all the small farms in the area.
Yeah.
Everybody else has the big farms. And so we were always backing in this tiny driveway next to this house.
I thought I was good at that, man, until I worked for a while at a truck depot. I was driving the tray truck, so like an 8-ton tray truck, and but the same depot had semis as well, and and I would load and unload semis, and I would drive the semis around the yard. I don't have a license for that. I have a heavy rigid license, what we call it. So I can't drive anything that's, articulated. It's got to be just a rigid. And, but we have here, I don't know, do you have many like B doubles there where you got 2 trailers? Do you have a lot of that? Yeah.
They do a few of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So Australia runs on them. Like there's more of them on the roads than single trailer. That's like the
or the other way. We have a 53-foot. And we have them. They're short.
Yeah,
38-foot trailers.
Pretty much all freight runs on B doubles. Yeah, and the trying to back those. Nah, I'm out. I'm not that good. That's a whole different art, man. That's a whole different art.
Yeah.
But all the guys that are good at it, they would like, they'd tell me like, and I didn't really care to learn because I only was just shifting them around the yard to unload and load.
Yeah.
And there was always a driver there that could back it for me, so I didn't really give a fuck about learning.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to drive those fucking things anyway on the road. It didn't interest me. So, but yeah, the when I would try and do it, I'd be like, how the fuck did you guys do it? But the guys that were good at it, they'd be like, yeah, it took us fucking weeks to learn. Like we were practicing every day, you know. So
yeah, you didn't wake up doing it.
But yeah, it's amazing. Some of the city depots that they got to back those B double trailers into and all that, man. Like, fucking hell. Those guys, they're really good at backing. You know, not me putting my tandem trailer neatly in someone's driveway. That's not that good. But yeah. But every man should be able to back a trailer. That's a that's a man
100%.
rule. We've spoke about that before. Every man should be able to back a trailer. Cool, man. Cool. Hey, one last one. Teenage Crush. That's it. Teenage Crush. So I keep saying Kelly Bundy was my teenage celebrity crush, man.
Okay.
Who was yours?
Who's the one from I think Sarah Michelle Gellar?
Oh, Buffy.
Yeah.
Buffy. Okay, that's a good one. I haven't had her yet.
One of them.
Yeah, Buffy. I can
Off
see
top
that.
Of my head, like I've had a couple, but that's one that's coming up.
Yeah. Cool.
You couldn't be her.
Yeah, no, I'm surprised I haven't had her already. Yeah, Buffy. I don't know what else she did, but she's I know her for Buffy. My wife, huge Buffy fan. So
okay.
She huge anything to do with vampires. She's a fan.
Oh, really?
So yeah, she's watched Buffy lots of times. Yeah.
Oh, what's the movie she was in that was kind of
oh yeah, she played
little promiscuous. It was her and her stepbrother or something, and
yeah, I know. I
a rich family.
Yeah, I remember it, but I don't know what it's called. Yeah.
It was kind of promiscuous.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was called, but anyhow,
she played the slutty sister sort of thing.
Yeah. She was seductive in that one. Like you couldn't not like her there.
Yeah, it's fun. My like. There's a lot of movies I haven't watched, man. I don't reckon I've ever watched that one, but I certainly would have watched previews of it, and you know, I probably watched the good scenes and didn't watch the rest of it. You know, like your mates would be like, "Check this out." You know, back in those days, it'd be on a VHS that they rented, and they rented it just to see just to see the good scenes. You know, back in the old days.
I remember VHS.
Yeah.
I'm not that young. I remember those.
Yeah. No, that's it, man. Cool, man. All right. Better give me your best Australian accent, man.
I'd probably go with the old crocodile hunter. You know what I mean? Like, crikeys, mate. That's about all I got, I think.
That's all you got. That wasn't too bad, though, man. That wasn't too bad.
I missed that guy. He was always fun to watch. I learned a lot about animals with that guy.
He's amazing, man. Yeah.
It was funny how
it's fucked up how we lost him.
Yeah.
Really fucked up.
You would have thought a lion would have got him, but like a daggone stingray, you know?
Man, if a lion had got him, it'd feel better. You know, it would actually feel better. Like it still would have sucked, but yeah.
Yeah.
But
the guy did what he loved, and his kids
he died doing exactly what he loved and all that sort of thing. And
his kids, like I've seen some stuff on his kids, like they're just taken right back into his place, and they've learned from him.
Yeah,
and they're just as cool as him.
He would have been a grandfather now. I think Bindy's a mum now. I think
that makes sense.
Or she was pregnant. I think she was either pregnant or she's a mum.
Yeah, it's been a minute since he passed. So I
she's all grown up.
His kid's got to be close to my age. Maybe early 30s.
Bindy's probably 30. Yeah, I suppose. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. Let me think, because we lost We lost 3 Aussie legends in a short space of time.
That's how it always goes.
We lost Peter Brock, who is our, I guess he is our Dale Earnhardt.
Okay.
Yeah. Or our Richard Petty, you know.
Okay.
Who's the biggest NASCAR star ever?
Probably Earnhardt. Yeah.
So
Or
he was
Petty.
out.
Earnhardt or Petty. You
Yeah.
had it.
Yeah. So that's
one of those
it.
two.
The biggest star ever on 4 wheels in Australia. We lost him.
Was it? I mean, not age. It was in an
in
accident.
In a car, but it was fucked, man, because he was just doing like a guest drive fun thing in a sports car where they it was like an open roads rally thing, so competitive, but it was just like a guest drive. Like a rich guy said, "Hey, drive my sports car." It was, I forget what it was. It was a pretty rare Chevy powered sports car, so a bit like I forget what it was called.
Sounds familiar.
And they were racing on open roads, doing this like special event, and they do a few of those around Australia. They call them Targas, and it's kind of like a rally, but in vintage sports cars and stuff, and it's on asphalt roads. And yeah, he crashed in that and fucking driver's door lined up a tree with the driver's door, basically.
Wow.
And we lost him, and that was just totally like, I remember my dad telling me, and it was just like, no. And he's like, nah, really? And it was just like, fucking, that's not real. You know, that was massive. And the same year or the same short space of time, Steve Irwin. And then I forget the third one. I think the third one, it might have been Shirley Strawn, who was the lead singer of the Skyhooks, who is like a super iconic, famous Aussie band that you guys wouldn't know. They never made it big overseas, but big, like in the mid 70s, they were the biggest band in Australia, apart from AC/DC, which is which is the given. They were probably as big as AC/DC, to be honest, at that time. But he died in a helicopter accident. He flew helicopters. I think he was the third one, unless that was a different time. But yeah, Peter Brock and Steve Irwin was definitely, and it was just like, what the fuck is happening? This, and then there's all this happens in threes, and it was just it's
always
fucking
threes.
terrible. It's always threes, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, that was rough when Steve died. Interesting little side note about Steve Irwin, man. A guy I know, haven't seen for years, but a guy I know grew up where his dad grew up where Steve Irwin grew up, and his dad was right into surfing, and his dad and his mates would go to this really cool surfing spot where you'd have to park and you'd have to walk through the bush and the dunes and all that to get to this cool spot. And they used to come across every now and again this young blonde kid who was full of beans and full of energy. And he would be like, "G'day, guys, hey, you mind if I come with you?" And he'd come fucking surfing with him. And this guy would they'd be walking through the bush and he would drop his board and fucking run into the bush and come out with a fucking lizard or something showing him and all that sort of stuff. And they always thought he was cool, but he was pretty fucking crazy and all that, this kid. And then years later, they fucking see him on the TV, and it was Steve Irwin. So, yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
And he was exactly the fucking same as this kid that used to want to go surfing with him. Yeah, it was exactly the same. It was like, ain't changed a bit. Huh? It's a cool story because it just shows how authentic it was. Like that was just him, right? Right from the get go. So yeah. And they were like, "Hey, that's that kid that used to come surfing with us." So, yeah,
That's awesome.
fun little story. It is awesome, man. Yeah, it is awesome. Yeah,
He
absolutely,
always
man.
came across that way. Like you just could tell he wasn't. That
Yeah,
was the early days of the reality TV, but like it wasn't like put on. Like he was just being himself.
yeah. Just a
And
super
that's what
interesting
was so
guy.
amazing about it. And that's probably why it sucks so much that he got killed. Is like that guy was real.
Yeah.
When you got the Kardashians and all these other stupid shows, like that dude was real.
Yeah. No, they all that. Yeah, all your fake reality stuff, man. I fucking hate it, man. Like
Yeah.
That's a whole nother topic, man. Honestly, man, like doesn't matter how good looking any of those girls are. To me, they're fucking ugly just because they're so
their
fake.
character.
Their character and the fakeness and the pretentiousness and all that sort of thing. Like to me, that's just like it makes them ugly. Like remember what was the movie where? What was the movie where a dude starts seeing people as their true self and they're turning into creatures and shit? So like if there could be a person who's kind of ugly, but they're really nice person and they'd be like a beautiful being sort of thing. And then there'd be like a hot chick that was a cunt and she just looks like the devil and he's seen all that.
I can't remember. That sounds familiar. I cannot.
Yeah. I can't remember the movie, but yeah, I kind of I look at people like that too, man. Like I look at if there's a chick who's like, like a Kardashian, to me, just like they're just an ugly person because of their nature and all that. Like I don't.
Yeah.
Whereas the same thing too, like if a chick who is talented or funny or just a great person or whatever, they just get more good looking. I reckon, that's not all blokes think like that. I think I think I'm unusual in that. I don't think all blokes. I think a lot of blokes are pretty superficial with the way they look at chicks.
Yeah,
that's what I think. Anyway,
Do you think? And I haven't watched a whole lot of it. Do you think there's some? Maybe this is myself. Deegan's like YouTube thing. Like, I think that's kind of what turns me off on him is because he's got the YouTube thing, like he's a Kardashian.
A little bit, yeah.
But I don't discount the kid's skill.
Yeah, it turned me off at the start.
Put this show on, and I'm like, I don't care about that stuff. You know what I mean?
It turned me off at the start. So I started from a negative place with Deegan because it was like the YouTube and all that. That goes very much against the grain for me.
Yeah.
So
I'm not wrong in my feeling then. You're feeling
and I think a lot of people like I started from a negative place. Like this kid, it's all show, but he won me over really quickly with in every other way, in talent, in work
24.
ethic. Yeah, in talent, work ethic, everything. Just like holy shit, I love this kid. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So,
in 2024, I've been like, all right,
yeah,
he's legit.
And I still don't love the whole, YouTube, everything's on show sort of thing. Like, I still don't love that because that's just not, I don't know, not something I value, appreciate,
Not your style.
No, it's not my style, But yeah, there's absolute full credit. Like the kid is legit as you can fucking get. So
he's out there killing it, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, you can't.
He's not it's not like he's gotten lucky doing a couple crazy things in Ironman, jumping that finish line or stuff.
No.
He keeps doing it.
Yeah.
He's starting to make himself known kind of like Bubba. Like in the early days, Bubba, I couldn't stand him.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, it was kind of a race thing. They're like, oh, it's a black kid. I'm like, I don't care. Like, what's it matter? He's just another guy riding.
No,
Bubba's got some skills.
It would have mattered. It would have mattered to little black kids watching though, wouldn't it? You know, just like
Yeah, you're probably right.
it would have mattered.
That's a
It
good
would have
point.
mattered to them. Like it doesn't matter if fuck he's a good rider, no matter what color he is or whatever.
Yeah.
But to younger, like younger kids that are black, it would have probably brought him into the sport. It would have made
That's
it.
a good. That's a
It
good
would have
point.
mattered. It would have mattered
Yeah.
a lot. So, I think it's easy for me to say, but I could see them sitting there going,
Yeah, well,
"Fuck
if
yeah,
that guy's got the chance
I can
to
do it. I can be in this sport because he has, So
Yeah, if he can do it, I could do it,
yeah, I think
or
so.
I have a chance to do it.
But like I wasn't exposed to Bubba's TV show or a lot of hype around him because that was still like read the results in the magazines days. So
Okay.
I would see
Yeah.
I'd see the scrub photo and stuff and be like, so I just liked him straight away. I thought it was,
Is this guy
cool.
wrecking?
Yeah, I thought it was cool.
Picture of him having a wreck.
Yeah, straight away, and then because that was very, very rare where I would get to watch any footage of a race back in those days.
Yeah.
So,
Isn't it crazy what we got now?
Oh, yeah, it's just in your pocket all day.
You can watch it. Yeah, you can
watch any
live.
race from history in your pocket.
Yep.
It's incredible, man. Yeah, it is.
You can watch it live, or you can watch it afterwards. You can
so
scroll
lucky,
back.
man. Long way from me waiting like 2 months. I'd wait not 2 months. It'd be about, sometimes you'd wait about 6 weeks to find out the results of a US moto.
No kidding.
Yeah, because you have to, because most of the time the Australian magazines wouldn't report on the US stuff. They would just be local news, unless there was an Aussie involved.
Okay.
So you might have got a footnote about how Jeff Leach was going or something like that, back in the 80s and all that. Not really much focus in Aussie magazines on what was happening in America until Chad. So you would,
he probably would have been the biggest, right?
Oh yeah, revolutionized everything.
Yeah.
You would wait about 6 weeks to get. I used to buy a dirt bike and dirt rider because I liked the off road as well as the moto. So Motocross Action was just moto.
Yeah.
And you would see the results in that. So you were way behind, man. But that was as new as it got to you. You were used to it. So that was just all you had. You'd go into the news agents. We call them news agents, the place where you'd sell basically that's where that was the place that would sell the papers, and they would also have the magazines. You'd go in there after school. It's not in yet. Next day after school, it's not in yet. Dirt bike's in. It's like, and you'd be reading it. You'd be in there reading it, looking for the things, and then you take it home and you just read it about like 10 times, man. Like you'd read it cover to cover 10 times, because that was your only fix, So
I keep getting a magazine now, and like, I'll admit they sit there. I don't look at them.
It's hard to find time. Yeah,
I see it. Yeah, and I feel bad.
Yeah. It's funny, man. I as you know, man, I love writing, and I apparently, and I don't know if it's true or not, but apparently magazines are making a little bit of a comeback because they're starting to get a little bit like cool, kind of like vinyl records did. And it started getting a bit, because even my daughter brought home a magazine, and I was like, what the hell is this? And she goes, oh, it's cool. It was I can't remember what it was, probably something about music.
Is there something about the tangible?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's it's just the retro feel, the bit sort of, they sort of linked it to similar to when vinyl records made a comeback. So maybe because I mostly write just because I like it,
Yeah.
And then now I'm doing a few articles for Main Event and that sort of thing, and that is just a bit of fun, So
yeah.
I like writing. I find it Really, it's almost writing an article is like a bit of therapy for me. I love doing it. So yeah, hopefully writing always sticks around, man, because there's a lot of everybody, like you hear that everybody wants to be a moto photographer. Everybody wants to do a podcast. Nobody wants to write. Well, my hand's fucking up. I love writing, so yeah.
I think you got it, man.
Yeah. I love doing it, man, and I always get pretty good feedback about things I write. So people tend to enjoy it. I've even had people say, like, I never read anything, but I read your stuff, and you get a few things like that, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But something I like to do, man. That's it.
Well, do it. Chase what you love, right?
That's it, man. Cool. Hey, let's wrap it up, man. So you know how we finish the show, man. You got your Kenny Rogers ready, man.
Well, we can try.
We'll give it a shot, hey.
Sounds like a plan, my man.
I reckon Triple Deuce is going to join in. So I handed him my bottle, and he drank down my last swallow. Then he bummed a cigarette and asked me for a light. And the night got deathly quiet. And his face lost all expression. Said, if you're going to play the game, boy, you got to learn to play it right. You got to know when to hold them. Know when to fold them. Know when to walk away. Know when to run. You never count your money. When you're sitting at the table, there'll be time enough for counting. When the dealing's done. That's it, man. Thank you very much for joining us. A good old bench race. We've gone long, but that's okay because it was good fun, man. It was good fun. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll talk soon.
I appreciate it, Aussie Steve.
Cheers,
love
man.
you, buddy.
Love you, man. Cheers. See ya.